This video was prompted by a comment I received on my Handboards Pinger custom build video, where a guy says, "What's the point of those huge clumsy decks? I thought Surfskate trucks work better with small decks." And when I read that comment, I realized that I have not done a good job of explaining this at all. I guess I've kind of just taken it for granted that the fun was translating in the ride. And so I wanted to take a minute to explain to you what I love about these crazy longboard surf skates so much. So the first thing I would say is, to his point that he thinks Surfskate trucks work better on the short decks, that to me is the magic of Surfskate trucks, is that they can work on whatever you want to use. So I don't know why we have the automatic assumption that Surfskates are just for the short boards, because they work for all of these and they work fantastic. And in my humble opinion, when you put a Surfskate truck on these long decks, it's the first time that we've ever had a true longboard surfing experience. And I know that's a really stupid thing for me to say as a non-surfer, but the reason why I say that is because in the past, what have we had? We've had handboards where you have handboards trucks, and I know there's plenty of surfers out there who will debate on that. But to me, you just don't get the propulsion as you get out of these other trucks. So to me, handboards are just not the experience at all that I get on these other, what I call legitimate Surfskate trucks. Or we've also seen coastal decks that have revenge trucks on them, which in my opinion are just absolute garbage. I do not like those trucks at all. Or you'll see a lot of them, like coastals, will have just regular RKP longboard trucks on them. So when you put a Surfskate truck on these crazy longboard decks, it opens up a whole new world of possibility of things that you can do on these decks that you cannot do on any of those other trucks. So if you're limiting your Surfskate trucks to just the short decks, you're missing out on a whole new world of possibility and fun. Personally, I find these decks to be the furthest thing from clumsy. Now, I certainly can't argue that my riding looks clumsy, but the feel and the experience of these decks does not feel clumsy at all. The very first time I stepped foot on one of these, it was that Envy Classic 57-incher. And my first experience was I was just utterly shocked by how much I could do with this. I could do pretty much everything I could do on the long deck as I could on a short deck, including very nimble turns on that zigzag section at the college campus. And so immediately I was just geeking out about that, about how much I could do given how long they were that I didn't expect to be able to. So just the fact that I can be almost as nimble on these longboards as some of my shorter decks is just intrinsically cool and fun to me. And everyone I've had try these for the first time has the same experience where they go into it assuming that they're going to be clumsy and hard to ride. But to a person, every single person who rides these realizes really quickly that they're actually really easy to ride, even if you're small and light. So if you're watching me riding these and thinking that it's going to be hard and clumsy, I can assure you that it's not. They are shockingly easy to ride. And one of the reasons why they're easy to ride is because they're so stable relative to the short decks. And that opens up a whole new world of possibility with the cross-stepping. And so that's the other reason why I fell in love with these, is because it just opened up a whole new world of me, a whole new discipline to learn, practice and learn. So believe it or not, when you look at my skill level, I would consider myself to be a progressive rider, by which I mean I'm always wanting to be learning a new skill. I get bored just doing the same things over and over again. That's why I kind of got bored with bull riding, because I hit a point where I just wasn't progressing, and to progress was going to require me to take a lot more risks than I was comfortable. So with the longboards, all of a sudden I got a whole new discipline to open up to me that is safe for me as a kook old man who doesn't want to get hurt anymore. So the cross-stepping is really easy and safe to do, but it's also a lot of fun to do. And so I was able to just apply that progressive mindset to the cross-stepping, and now every time I go on a ride, I always have something to improve, which is that balance and that cross-stepping. So it's just a whole new frontier, a whole new discipline to pursue, and a whole new style. Another reason why I love the longboards is that they give you a lot of forward momentum. And that's important to me because if you haven't noticed, my riding style is so simple. All I really want is the ride that never ends. I don't do any kind of like sharp, quick maneuvers, any snaps, slides, anything like that. I just want to cruise on the ride that never ends, and I want to go as long as possible, and I get bored going slow. So with these longboards, because of the wide wheelbase, you can get a lot more forward momentum on them than you can on the shorter decks. So just cruising really fast on these for me is a lot of fun. And the other thing is, when you're going downhill on them, because they're so heavy, they will pick up a lot of forward momentum on them, more so than on the short decks, and that also adds to the fun. So those are my reasons for loving these crazy longboards, and I know we all have personal preference, but for whatever it's worth, you've seen me in my journey ride probably more shortboards than anybody that I know. And after that experience of riding all those shortboards, I haven't ridden a shortboard unless it's to do a review in the last year and a half, ever since I stepped foot on that NV Classic 57-incher. So that's no guarantee that you're gonna love these, but for frame of reference, that might tell you something. But ultimately, you have to just try it and experience it for yourself, and you're going to see that these longboard surf skates are the furthest thing from clumsy.